Good morning, all. Welcome to a bit of a somber day here at Rugby Chat. Of course, today we are remembering Shane Christie, who unfortunately passed away, and our thoughts and all that go out to all his family and whānau. It's a not a good way to start a show, but to everyone that's remembering him today in Nelson, we wish you love, hugs, and all that sort of stuff, and remembering a great player of New Zealand rugby. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Morning. Yeah, good, thanks. How are you getting on?
Oh, it's hopefully all going well. We're back on real TV with my actual account now out of Facebook jail. So, it'll be interesting to see what's going on there and what happens. And, I can't seem to get something working here, but that's okay. I don't need all the graphics in life. But, so big weekend just passed. And what do you call it? I'll just get rid of that over there. And so I can, it doesn't want me to find my little banners. But basically, today, as normal, we'll go through all the results. Heartland, MPC, Wharapapa Cup. Have a look at this weekend's All Black game and maybe some other news from around the world if we've got time. What did you think of last weekend?
It was a pretty dynamic round of Heartland rugby. There's more high-scoring games, more individual brilliant performances, more milestones. Milestones met out of Buller, and it's good to see. And this week we're coming on to halfway through the competition.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And we can have a quick look at last weekend's results. So you were a happy camper watching the tally on the weekend. Wairarapa Bush was the TV game on this week, and Mid Canterbury managed to get the dub over Wairarapa Bush, who only actually picked up one bonus point there for the loss. You guys were lucky.
Yeah, we were. They didn't make it easy for us. It was a pretty high tempo game. They got some really, really big forwards, and they just used them to really good effect, disrupting our mauls and all sorts of carry on. But when we managed to get it wide, there was a couple of individual patches of brilliance there. I think the number 13, Fotu Hala, set up a couple of great tries and scored one himself. So there's promising signs there. But we were lucky to win that.
No, it definitely was. And then of course, South Canterbury visited Buller. It was close there for a while, but of course South Canterbury far too strong for them, weren't they? Getting up by 64 points to 24. Buller walked away with a bonus point against South Canterbury. Not much more they can really ask for there, is it?
No, that was actually a good performance from Buller. Obviously celebrating Esi Tora's 100th game. It was great to see him running out with his kids, and it was great. There was individual patches of brilliance there, but even though South Canterbury were missing a couple of star players, they were far too strong in the end.
Yeah, no, it was, and but hey, at least Buller are on the board. They got 2 points from their first couple of games, couple of tough ones for them, and we'll run over what they're playing this week. But then the game that took ages to find the result here, but Poverty Bay against Horowhenua. Horowhenua just can't buy a trick against Poverty Bay. Over history, Poverty Bay have got the wood on them, and they managed to. The Weka got up by 26-19. Did you see that one coming with the way? Poverty Bay are 2 wins now.
Yeah, no, I didn't. This is the one that started my downfall on my tips, but I was actually picking Horowhenua Kapiti to win this after the last week's performance against us. But Poverty Bay are going good at the moment. There's encouraging signs there.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't bring up the graphics, but that's okay. I'll just go back to the one I had in the background. And then, of course, North Otago started slowly against Ngāti Porou, getting up by 48-19. This is who you got this week, but North Otago just push more pain into the Ngāti Porou season, who are now 0-3.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good for North Otago to get a win, especially with the travel involved to get up to Ruatoria. It's no easy feat, but yeah, no, they're on the board now, and there was some great individual patches of brilliance within the North Otago squad. Ngāti Porou East Coast, yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there, but we need to see them get up the ladder as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, no, totally, definitely. But and then it was quite a tough match, this one at Te Araha, Thames Valley King Country. King Country pushed Thames all the way, and near the end, they may have, even from watching the highlights, may have been able to steal it near the end. But Thames snuck away with the victory as King Country went down with a bonus point there to Thames 24-20. Is this the wake-up call that maybe the Swamp Foxes needed?
Yeah, well, they've had a rough start to their campaign. Obviously, they've got the win. They've got one on the board now, but yeah, no, I think they're clicking into gear. But don't write off King Country yet. They can be very proud of that performance. And also, it was Liam Rowland's 50th game for inspirational skipper.
Yeah, I saw that. Plenty of video running around the place. But then, Wanganui, West Coast. If you were a gambling man, West Coast hadn't beaten Wanganui in 12 years. They've only ever beaten them 3 times. They were down 19-14 at half time and wiped the board of Wanganui Butcher Boys by 24-0 in the second half. I don't think anyone would have picked that, except me, of course.
I can't remember who I went for in that game. I think I might have went for the Butcher Boys, but yeah, no, another dominant display from the Coasters. Everything they touch turns to gold at the moment. I'm a bit disappointed with Wanganui. I expected better of them, but they're still battling injuries and all sorts of carry-ons. So yeah, no, it's they're shaping up to be a juicy competition, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, and of course, just coming straight off the and well timing by Mr. Josh Flavel. Well done, West Coast, top of the table. Mike, MC Hammer's very lucky and have used their get out of jail card for the season. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with Josh 100%. He messaged me on the weekend about halfway through the first half and said there's some big boys in that Warrappa Bush pack, and I said, yeah, no, it's a hard watch. I was actually watching it down at the local pub, and yeah, there was a few swear words getting thrown around.
Yeah, well, some big boys, all right. But of course, we've ended round 3 with 3 unbeaten teams: West Coast, South Canterbury, and Mid Canterbury. 3 of the top 4 I picked at the start of the season. I just need North Otago to pick up their socks and get up the table. But a big game though there is coming up this weekend. Will be the South Canterbury Wanganui one, which we'll cover very shortly. But then we've got that pack there. I mean, from Wanganui down to North Otago, it's pretty much still anyone. All those teams are still fighting for maybe that 4th place in Meads Cup, and then to lock in Lahore Cups this early in the season.
Yeah. I mean, all it's going to take is a couple of wins from North Otago, and they're going to be right back in it, and even Horowhenua Kapiti, and Warrappa Bush. They're still in contention. It's shaping up to be a great season. Yeah,
well, it'll be interesting to see, because even if coming up this weekend, if results go the way I think they might go, we could definitely have a logjam there in the top 6, which will just make the rest of the season go bloody awesomely. And don't forget, we don't have QR codes like other media organisations. We could do, but why? We're not here to take your email address. So if you've got any questions watching us on YouTube or Rugby Redefined, just throw them in the comments and we'll try and answer them the best of our ability anyway. So then I suppose we'll look forward to this weekend's games. And so we got we'll just run through the list first, and then we'll go through the head-to-heads. So we got Mid Canterbury taking on East Coast down your way at 2:00. Poverty Bay taking on Buller in Gisborne at 2 o'clock. The TV game this week, of course, is Wairarapa Bush versus West Coast at 2:05 from Greymouth. We've got a Bill Osborne Tonga defence up for grabs here with King Country taking on Horowhenua Kapiti. North Otago taking on Thames, and South Canterbury taking on Wanganui. So I'll just get out of that for a moment to see if I can bring back this media rubbish I've got here, which doesn't want to let me put up my fancy rugby background. But anyway, so we'll just jump straight into it. I think I've got these games in order. So here we go. So we'll start off with your boys. So 13 games, you're leading them in the Heartland by 8 games to 5. Average score here, it's actually very, very close. There's a, what is it? Differential points, average difference in the game is 18 points. So I'm thinking of a different game when I said that. Yeah, your boys. Highest score, 76. Largest against, 51. If we look at how the games have gone recently, East Coast have had the wood on you fellas, even winning down there back in 2022. Winning twice, actually, on their way to win the Lahore Cup. Do you think the W is going to be back in the winner? Mid-Canterbury will be back in the winners column this weekend. And any team news you may have?
I'm hopeful that we will be. It's going to. It won't be easy. They won't make it easy for us. I think everyone's come through the last week's win unscathed. We're still waiting on our centre to come back. He's injured at the moment. That's why Froju was playing 13. He's normally a winger, but yeah. Other than that, I think we're all good. It's going to be a great game. It's always good to see the Sky Blues down here doing their haka, and it's great to see. It sends goosebumps up your spine when they're out there and they're in full cry. But it's great to see. Hopefully, I'll catch up with Carco on the Friday if they get down at a respectable time. Or I might go and have a beer with them. But picking Mid Canterbury to win by at least 15.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. I did say on radio this morning on Sport Nation that it also depends on how windy it can be in Ashburton, because once that wind pops up, it can get pretty rough and ready, as you well know. So do you know what the forecast is for your weekend?
There's a slight chance of rain on Saturday. It's been pretty windy the last couple of days, but we don't want that wind coming up at the showgrounds because it's just horrible. People, teams playing into it. They go to kick for territory, and it just gets nowhere. But if you're playing with the wind behind you, it's a different story.
Yeah, no, I mean totally. So I'm in the background trying to get this bloody image stuff working, but it's not happening for me, so I'm just going to forget about it. Okay, so I'm actually going to go Mid Canterbury to win here by about 20.
Okay, yep, righto.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, mate.
Well, I feel sorry for East Coast because they are going through a rebuild. They have lost a few players, but full, total respect to Ngāti Pro. I love them dearly, but I think, I think the Hammers are far too strong this year, as all South Island teams are showing. The next game up we are having a look at is the Poverty Bay versus Buller. Now, Buller actually have the wood on Poverty Bay in Heartland, leading 10 games to 6. This was the game I was thinking of. Over the history in Heartland, there is just over half a point difference between these two teams. And that's what I'm saying. It can be quite close, and they've both shared spoils at home in recent years. In the last 4 years, the home team has won. But if you look back there at 16 and 18, Buller have won on the road up in Poverty Bay, and they have won, the last before this current run of home wins, they did win 3 on the trot in Gisborne. So, what do you think of that? I mean, have Poverty Bay proven after their big away win last week to Horowhenua Kapiti, do you think they've got the nous to sort of get moving, or do you think you've seen enough from Buller for them to maybe provide an upset?
I think Poverty Bay are going to win this. I think they're going to win it well. I think they're going to win it by 20 at least. But it would not surprise me if Buller pushed them close. Yeah, I want to see Buller win a game this season. I'm just trying to pick which one they're going to win, whether it's going to be at home or away. But two very proud unions. But I think the wicket should be too strong.
Yeah. Well, I know that this is one of the games they've been targeting Buller. Out of all the games, I mean, why wouldn't you? After Poverty Bay went 0-8 last year, I am going to go. I mean, I'm really playing with my tips this week, especially after going 6 from 6 last week, 12 from 13. But hey, I was quite happy that I picked Waikato because I was very happy that Southland won the Shield, and we'll come across that later. But I'm going to go Buller to win this by 5 points. There we go. I think Buller. They've had 2 or 3 games under their belt now with their import guys. They've rested a couple of players, especially against South Canterbury. And I think the young bucks will love the trip up to Gisborne. I'm going to go Buller. And if you disagree with me, throw it in the comments. But I'm going to go Buller. So there we go. That sort of breaks up our our picking now. So I've gone for 3 wins and you've gone for 2. So then we've got the television game this week, and of course it is the Might of Red and White taking on the Stags of Wairarapa Bush. So Wairarapa have 8-6 winning record against West Coast. There's there's less than a try between these two teams in Heartland. And if we have a quick look down here, Wairarapa Bush, their last win was in West Coast back in, hang on, I'll just bring that down, back in 2022 in Greymouth. They did win last year 38-31 in Masterton. But the thing is, there's a couple of games here that West Coast aren't bolded because they were home games, and Wairarapa Bush did take out the win. And it's pretty evenly spread over the last few years between these two teams. Are the wheels going to fall off West Coast? And I'm not even going to guess who's commented here, but I'm going to guess it's Josh. Oh, no. It was Logan Mitchell going for Poverty Bay. Cheers, Logan. But, so this will upset Josh. I'm going for Wairarapa Bush to win by 3 points.
Yeah, you're trying to keep Tanya happy.
No.
Back at John Sturgeon Park, I'm picking the weather's going to be raining, but it may not be. But I hope it's not raining. I think West Coast should be too strong, but Wairarapa Bush won't make it easy for them, like they didn't make it easy for us. They got some big ball carriers and they got some big backs. That Wairarapa Bush number 15, he's a big boy and he can run. I think West Coast will need to be at full strength to beat them. And I think this is going to be one of the games of the round. I think these two teams are going to throw absolutely everything at each other. I'm going to back West Coast by 10 or under. But it would not surprise me if Wairarapa Bush get up and beat them.
Well, you go 10 and under, and Mr. Flavel, the voice of the West Coast, this could be a banana skin game for the Coast. I agree with Mike. They should get it done by 10 points. Gee, he's quick on his phone typing.
He's probably sitting in his office in the back of his proudly run 4 square. I hope he can get to the game. It'll be a good game to watch, actually. Hopefully if we play West Coast, whether it be over later in the year, Obviously, we don't play them in the round robin. If we play them over in Greymouth, I might jump in the car and go over. It's actually a good day out.
Yeah, well, the thing is as well, is Wairarapa Bush have everything to play for. Because I did have to do a quick update today because we had accidentally given Horowhenua a bonus point. So they've actually moved from 8th to 7th on the table. And if West Coast did drop the game, they'll still be on 15 points. They'll still easily be in the top 4. But if they pick up a bonus point, that gives them 16 points. The bonus point is going to be really crucial end of the season. So if they can walk away with a bonus point or even 2 bonus points, they would take that as a victory because, it is a game. I agree with Josh that it could go either way. But yeah, I'm going to go only because Wairarapa Bush won there by 12 points last time they were there in 22. I'm going to say that the travel isn't going to bother this Wairarapa Bush team, and it'll be interesting to see how they go. So there you go. Hopefully we've pleased everybody there with that those picks. And then, of course, we've got the Bill Osborne, and it's between Horowhenua, Kapiti, and King Country, the holders. King Country back on finally in the winner's circle after their win a couple of weeks ago. Picked up a bonus point against Thames Valley last weekend. But they're playing Horowhenua. They've got a 7-4 winning record against them. But they actually only broke a losing streak against them of 3 games in a row last year. In 2023. So they haven't actually played for a couple of years. Considering they've been playing each other since 1924, they've only played 34 games. But it was even a close game, that win back in 2023, 31-27. Do you think Uncle Bill is going to be moving on down the road to Levin, or do you think he's going to stay in Tikawiti with the Colin Mead statue?
I think he's going to stay in Tikawiti. I think the Rams are going to bounce back from their loss to the Swamp Foxes last week. And they're going to win it by 15 points. Horowhenua will have to be on their A game to beat King Country. King Country have shown a lot of promise this year. They've got a lot of people. They've got a lot of players back for another go. A lot of quick outside backs, and a few loose forwards that have been there and done that for the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I think the Rams will be too strong here.
Yeah, and I believe it's their first game in Tikawiti this season as well, because they've been playing out in Taupo there in recent years, of course. So back to the spiritual home. So yeah, no, we'll go King Country, and I think they will win by 13 plus. There we go. That's my pick.
Yeah. I'll say 15, at least by 15.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So then we go down to Oamaru at the AMP Showgrounds. And I know they're called the Old Golds, but of course their supporter is a blue penguin. So that's why I got a penguin there. Penguins can nip at the heels of a Swamp Fox quite easily. But then, is the penguin going to be in the Swamp Fox jaw come 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon? They've played 10 games. North Otago have won 7 of them. And, not much in it, only a try over the Heartland history between these 2 teams. But as you can see here, they've both shared the spoils again. North Otago, Thames won last year in 24. North Otago won. Thames won. North Otago. So it is definitely a game that has home ground advantage. I mean, that win back in 23 by North Otago, Thames did come storming home at the end, and North Otago held on. It was a gripping match to watch, if you can find it online, to watch the replay of it, 34-33. Thames aren't travelling well. They need to put in a performance for the ages, really, this weekend, or they can pretty much kiss their Meads Cup defence goodbye and concentrate Lahore Cup, while North Otago, if they win, they're back in the hunt.
Yeah, well, obviously we've got two teams here that have finally got one on the board, and maybe it's the turning point for both teams. Thames Valley will face a big day of travel. I presume they'll fly into Christchurch and bus down, but still, it's a 9-on-3-hour bus ride from Christchurch to Oamaru. I'm not too sure whether they'll fly into. They might fly into Timaru, but yeah, no, it's home ground advantage at the AMP Showgrounds for the Old Golds. They've got a lot of promising players this year that have come into the squad, particularly 9 and 10. Yeah. I think the Swamp Foxes might just have the edge on them, but it would not surprise me if the Old Golds won. If the Old Golds win, I'll be happy because they pretty much shut Thames Valley out. But yeah, if Thames Valley win, well, there's going to be a few teams on edge because they'll be right back in it. So I'm going to go Thames Valley by 12 or under.
Okay, well, only because of history, and it's only been in recent years that teams have had the, have picked up the odd win. As you can see there by all the green, that denotes North Otago victories. I'm going to go that the home team will continue the trend, and I'm going to go say that North Otago will get up, and I think they might get up by about, around that 10, 12 point mark as well. Because I still can see North Otago climbing that table, where past years I've been quite confident for Thames Valley. I haven't got that confidence in picking Thames, so I'll go the Old Golds by 10. There we go. So that'll make life interesting with movement in the table. And of course, this morning with Smithy on Sport Nation, he was asking about. Someone said, what about defence this year? I mean, if you look at these results, it's always high-scoring matches, because the teams want to throw it. They want to score those tries. They realise how important a 4-try bonus is. So I think we'll be in for a high-scoring game. And, it will be interesting to see how that one pans out. But I think it could also be a very tight affair like the King Country game last week for teams. And then, of course, we come to the last game, and which is, you could argue, is the game of the round, because South Canterbury sitting there unbeaten. Wanganui got thumped last week by the Coasters. Wanganui have had the edge on South Canterbury in recent years. Less than 5 points between the two teams, but the big question there is, look at that. Meads Cup final, Meads Cup final, Meads Cup final. We've got 3-time Meads Cup finalists playing head-to-head here this weekend in Timaru at Fraser Park. South Canterbury are after a record-breaking 6 consecutive victory over Wanganui since 1894. Wanganui haven't been shown their normal prowess of being strong.
No, they've had a few problems with injuries and players not returning this year, but this is probably going to be the game of the round. South Canterbury back at Fraser Park. If Wanganui are anywhere near their best, they're in with a real shot to beat South Canterbury, but I think class will prevail, and hopefully South Canterbury are back to the full complement this week of players. So, I might go outside the square. I might take Wanganui by 12 just to put a cat amongst the pigeons. Because we know what Wanganui are capable of on their day. They've certainly got the firepower to beat any team.
Yeah, well, they definitely have. I mean, the last time they won in Timaru was back in 2017. 29-24. Of course, they did win that famous Meads Cup back in 2015 down there. But, they don't pick up a lot of wins in Timaru in recent years. I'm going to head to South Canterbury and say that they'll get up by 13 points. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad statement.
Yeah, and I just realised I didn't put up my games here, so I'll just have that running along the bottom as we have a quick look at some of the comments that have come through. We've heard from Logan and Josh. Kim Blanchfield, go the coast, so we know which way they're heading. But yeah, it's like I don't know. The whole thing has been. I mean, I thought last week was going to be a turning point in Heartland, but this week is 100%. It's going to sort the boys from the men.
Yeah, no, we reached the halfway stage of the competition this weekend, and if our teams can go, if teams like Mid Canterbury can go out there and South Canterbury can go out and win and get a bonus point, well, they're pretty much cemented their shot at the respective silverware. But you know, as we know, nothing's guaranteed, and you know, all it's going to take is one upset by someone that we didn't pick, and it's going to turn the competition on its head.
So, who would at this point? And I'll put you on the spot here because I should have prepped you this question. Who has been one of the standout players, do you think, so far after 3 rounds in Heartland? Can you name a couple? And not Mid Canterbury? Well, I'll start. Cam Burgess for West Coast. I don't know where he was last weekend. Kane Parker did step up admirably for West Coast, but Cam Burgess showed what he can do on the day, breaking a West Coast record. Alexia Wharongaronga still scoring tries for Wanganui. And then we've got Elisi Tora, you know, played over 100 games now, 13th Centurion for the Buller, still crossing the line, still increasing his try-scoring record, which will probably never get beaten now on the west in the Buller region. With Wairarapa Bush, there is a couple of guys there. Levi Harmon, he's been playing really well. The centre, Wellington Otago boy, but originally out of the Wairarapa. So, who else have we been keeping an eye on? Willie Wright is still pumping away in the high 90s game appearances. Because the thing is with Heartland is they've got a trip to Samoa end of the season with the New Zealand Heartland 15. So, you know, has any sort of young guy that you've seen come through so far, even from Mid Canterbury, that might be putting his hand up and saying, hey, Dave Harrison, the new coach for New Zealand Heartland, look at me, I want to go to Samoa.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've actually got 2 from Mid Canterbury and 1 from Wairarapa Bush. I think the Wairarapa Bush number 10, Eschenbach, had a great game last week. I don't think he even missed a goal when he was driving his team around the paddock. So there's one. Declan McCormick from Mid Canterbury. We all know he got nominated for the Heartland and Kirkpatrick Medal last year. He's probably one of the best flankers in the competition. I'm not being biased, but he's just a pest all around the field, and he even got a meat pie last week. And Fotu Hala, our number 13. Well, he's normally a winger, but he's slotted into 13, and he's just running great lines and setting up tries. So there's my 3.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, I'm still plenty to look forward to. Still plenty of time for these guys to put up their hand and get their passports updated. I tell you what, if I won Lotto, I'll definitely go on that trip. It'll be an awesome trip. I think they play 2 or 3 games up in Samoa over a period of a week, but that'd be an awesome little end-of-season trip to go on. So anyway, let's crack on. So we'll look at the NPC now. And so Taranaki, after losing the Shield, they went up to Pukekohe and dealt to the hapless County Steelers by 43-22. Canterbury kept the ball rolling as the only unbeaten side now in the NPC, getting up 53 points to 14. But Northland, I did pick Northland to win this, and they managed to hold on over Hawke's Bay up there in Whangarei. They're playing some good rugby, the Taniwha, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I think I picked the Magpies to win that particular game, but full credit to Northland. They played an expansive style of rugby, and they got the win in the end. So yeah, good on them.
Yep, no, that's true. And then, of course, emotional game there in Nelson with Tasman getting up by 31-27 with a late, very late try. And everyone going, oh, did you see the referee put the clock back? And I went and had a look, and I didn't see a clock go back. You know, I mean, it was a penalty. Time was up. They threw the dice, and every man and his dog jumped into the maul and pushed the ball over to get the try. Otago, though, you have to say we're unlucky.
Yeah, I think Otago were unlucky to win that, and I think Tasman were very lucky to win it. I picked Otago, and it looked like within 10 minutes to go they were going to pull it off. But you know, we've seen Tasman, you know, put some high scores on teams this season, and they didn't do it here, and it's full credit to Otago, I think.
Yeah, no, full credit to them. And then, of course, back in the winners' circle, 19 points to 7 for Bay of Plenty over Harbour. Again, winless Harbour. But they really had to, you know, it's interesting to see these teams had a lot of their All Blacks back, and they didn't really blow out any scores because, in theory, Bay of Plenty should have smoked the boys from Harbour.
Yeah, they should have. The North Harbour's bad season continues, and the Steamers, well, yeah, they probably should have put another 20 points on them, to be fair. But you know, the North Harbour didn't make it easy for them by any means.
No. And then, of course, the game that killed my 100% picking record in Heartland and in the NPC. But hey, I'm very happy that I didn't get 100%. But over 90% of people on Super Brew tipping comps picked Waikato to win this. Waikato had their ABs back. But what a snatch and grab by the Stags.
Yeah, this was an unreal game. I've said it multiple times over the last couple of days. It's probably one of the best Shield matches I've ever watched of this era anyway. Yeah, the Stags didn't need their All Blacks, and Waikato's All Blacks were pretty ordinary, to be fair. You know, the Stags just rose to the occasion. You know, I've seen a couple of interviews with Jack Taylor and Sean Whitty, and they've pretty much just been pumping this game up, you know, the whole week, and you know, they've been really. Everyone's been in the zone, and everyone's brought into what the coaches are trying to do, and they just went. They went up there full of confidence, and Waikato had no answer for them. You know, that's all it boils down to.
Yeah, true. And of course, it's the first time in a long, long time that they've actually gone 3 in a row now, the Stags. So well done. And the way they're promoting the Shield down there is amazing. Great crowd at Invercargill Airport yesterday. It's going to be a packed house coming up this week when they play Canterbury down there in Invercargill. It's going to be huge. Auckland, worst ever start to an NPC season. Longest, I think, ever losing streak in their history of 150 years. But I picked Wellington to win that. But, you know, I didn't think they would be so dominant. I mean, the weather was rubbish, sure. But both teams had to play in it, and Auckland just didn't have an answer.
No, they didn't. The ground conditions weren't favourable to any team, really. We can't really lay that as an excuse. But, Wellington come to play, and, Auckland's woeful start to the season continues. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but something needs to change and change fast.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at the current table there, and we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Auckland, Counties, North Harbour. Okay, I know Counties is part of the Chiefs now, apparently, but I still count Counties as part of the Auckland area. 0-5, all 3 of them. It makes an interesting battle of the bridge coming up later in the season. An interesting prospect, you know. If you said Auckland or North Harbour, I mean, why would you not pick North Harbour?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, Auckland got 4 bonus points, but they've both got similar points for and against this 85. But it was really crazy. Even though Northland have picked up another win, they're sitting there in 10th place on 13 points. Wellington are starting to move up the table there, which is very good for me to see, because it's still a few rounds to go. Waikato are licking their wounds. Southland must be gasping for air at the moment, being up there in 7th place. Bay of Plenty, can they bounce back into that top 4? Otago, Tasman, they're there. But the juggernaut that is Canterbury, can you see them not walking away from Invercargill this weekend with the Shield? Or do you think Passion will get Southland over the line?
Well, that was pretty much the first comment from a lot of people, a lot of keyboard warriors on social media. They were saying, Southland are going to hold it for 5 days, Canterbury coming, so make sure you keep it safe and clean. But I think if Southland play anywhere near them, what they did last weekend, they're at full strength. Well, I've been telling everyone, Canterbury, bring your A-team and your All Blacks, because Southland don't need them.
Well, they brought out the obligatory now who will have the Shield. And, I mean, if Southland can upset here, I mean, their next defence would be against the Steelers. And if they can hold that, then they have a crack against who? Let's see if I can read this right. The following week, that doesn't work out right, does it? Unless they're playing Auckland. Auckland, and then if that's if counties win. Sorry, if I come up here, they have the Marco. So they'll have Steelers, Marco, and that's it. So if they win, they've got 2 games to hold the Shield for the summer. Whereas if Canterbury win, it becomes a bit of a different picture, because it really sets up a huge game at Apollo, because their first guys will be the Tasman Marco. And then, of course, Otago will be hoping Canterbury hold on to it, because then they get a shout out against Otago. But then if the Marco win, Waikato may have a chance to win it back. So based on the more permutations of what's going on here, if Canterbury win, Taranaki could have it back. Or if Otago win, Harbour get a crack. I mean, it would be just like Harbour to end the season with 1-2 wins and the Ramfurdy Shield.
Yeah. Well, nothing's impossible, but it's going to be a great game, that Canterbury Southland game.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be. So, but that's just as I said, when the spider web comes, it gets a bit clearer near the end of the season. So, what have we got up now? We can have a quick look at the results from the Farah Palmer Cup. Big win for Manawatu over Auckland, 22-21. The Kauri from Northland got up over Harbour by 39-22. The Otago Spirit. This was actually a very good win, I thought, for them over Tasman and Nelson by 48-15. So they're flying high in the championship at the moment. Poor old hapless Hawke's Bay Tui, another thumping, this time by counties. What are they calling themselves? The Heat. Big win for Wellington over the Taranaki Whio by 76 points to 0. Big game, Taranaki, Waikato holding on to the JJ Stewart Trophy, the Ramfurdy Shield for the ladies, over normally a strong Canterbury team. I thought Canterbury might have won that, but the Waikato girls got up and over there. And if we have a quick look there, again, another team, top of the premiership there, Canterbury. There's something in the water in Canterbury at the moment. Both their teams are leading the championships.
Yeah, no, they're a very proud union, and the boys are going well and the ladies are going well too. But all it's going to take is for Canterbury to have a couple of losses, and that table will be all up the wop.
It will be. I mean, they're only ahead on point differential, but a big point differential. And then if we have a look at the championship, these are the ones that get promoted. Looks like Hawke's Bay will be going down. So the battle there is definitely going to be, I believe, between Otago and Wellington. No disrespect to the Northland Kauri. But at the end of the day, any one of those three could actually get up and do the business. So that's the ladies' games. What else have we got to talk about? Oh, there are still ladies' games to talk about. Of course, the World Cup's on. So, we have a look at some of these scores. They all went to plan in round 2 at the Rugby World Cup. 42-0, Canada, Scotland, 29-15, a bit closer there. England, just dominant against the Samoans. The poor USA, 31-all. Australia had a chance to win that, and she literally, almost in front, fluffed the kick. It was just like, what? And then I think it was, I'll just go down. It might have been the Spanish game I was watching, and the girl ran out of time to kick the conversion right in front. They've been told, it was just like, you've been told. You've got 30 seconds. The referee shouted out 10, and she didn't start running until the clock went 0. So that was, she's learned from that experience, I can tell you that. But what did you think of the Black Ferns performance against Japan? I thought it was still, even though they won by 50 points or 50 points, I thought it was still a little bit scratchy.
Yeah, it was. It probably wasn't the performance that Alan Bunting was after. Obviously that red card, that was just stupid. These girls should know better than to do stupid shit like that. Portia Woodman was unreal, and Caitlin Vinocola, she's pretty good as well. But yeah, it wasn't the ideal performance, but they got the win, and South Africa are through to the quarterfinals now. I think South Africa are going to be our main danger.
Yeah, well, if we look at how the standings are at the moment, we're still around the pool play to go. I mean, England are there, basically get 2 wins in your run. The Aussie, USA, the draw didn't help either of those teams because, depending on how the Australians go against the English, I think the English are going to just decimate the Australians. And America, in theory, should probably, I'm going to pick, get a big win over Samoa. And if they do that, they need a big win because, they've got to make up almost 100 points on the Australians on points for and against, because that's where it will go, because they drew. So there will be a tiebreaker there on point differentials. So they need a 5-pointer and hope that Australia don't get a bonus point, because that's all Aussie need is a bonus point to go through to the quarters.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Black Ferns England final. I'm picking that, but yeah, no, England certainly look dominant at the moment.
Yeah, and then of course New Zealand and Ireland, they're both basically through. Doesn't matter what happens in the final games. New Zealand do play Ireland Monday morning New Zealand time, 1 a.m. And of course Spain will be playing Japan. Shout out to Leslie McKenzie, the head coach of Japan, once the rugby development officer at Wanganui. So well done to her for being on the international stage. And as you've already pointed out, South Africa and France, well, they're both through. So it's really just that Pool A to be decided, which is quite exciting, really, to think about how, they've had these games. The real game started in the quarterfinals, and I believe New Zealand will be playing the runner-up of Pool D. So, I'm sure New Zealand would prefer to play South Africa than France. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, both teams are going to be hard, but see, South Africa got some big girls in that team of theirs. But yeah, I think the Black Ferns need to improve fast because. Even though they got the win, it was still scrappy.
Yeah, no, it still was. So let's just see if they put on a stellar performance this weekend against the Irish, who've actually won 2 of the 3 games against the Black Ferns. So ain't going to be an easy stroll in the park for them. So that'll be an interesting one. All Blacks, this is the injury list. So it was sad to see Tawhatava Naiwai go out injured, but does that mean are we going to see Lester Whaianuku in the starting lineup?
Yeah, absolutely we are. Yep.
Because and who's your starting halfback? I don't want to say it, but it will have to be Finlay Christie, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not like we've got much choice. Look at that injury list; it's quite phenomenal, really. You know, we're coming up to one of the biggest games of the year on the All Blacks calendar, and we've got most of our star players sitting on the sidelines. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tavatava, no, well, that's a big loss. He come off exactly 20 minutes into that game, and there was a few rumours swirling around, but obviously he knew what he had done, and he just walked off the park, and I was quite shocked to see that he had actually broken his arm. No, we're in. Yeah, we could well be in dire straits.
We could be, and of course, Cortez Ratama. It does say they're still being assessed, but I heard this morning that it's actually a fractured rib. I mean, that doesn't take 2 weeks to heal, so you can sort of have him ruled out. Already hearing rumours, would they bring back Aaron Smith? And disagree. We have young guys out there, Kyle Preston, and company. Xavier Rose being brought into the squad, who fights Cortez for the starting role at the Chiefs. So it's there's still plenty to pick from. But yeah, it's definitely a interesting. To see what else we've got. Oh yeah, I've got that to talk about in a minute. But I mean, I see Rosie Erasmus has said that he's not going to release his team till Thursday. Traditionally, in recent years, he's done a Monday or a Tuesday, but he's holding his cards close to his chest. Do you think Khaleesi will start the match?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think Brassey's going to name his. I think he's going to pretty much put a full strength squad out there, and he's going to want to make a statement. He's well aware of the history at Eden Park with regards to the All Blacks wins, and I think he's here to win. I think he's here to win that game, and I think they're in with a great chance. I probably would have liked to see Folau Fakatava brought in somewhere. Obviously the All Black stocks are pretty thin. The halfback stocks are pretty thin, but Razor needs to. He needs to make his selections carefully.
Yeah, he's definitely on the outer for some reason. He must have slept with someone's sister, because I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it, because he is a class half. Why he's not there? Not for us to guess why, but I mean, I have noticed all the hoop-ha about the fortress. Have you noticed them not been calling it the National Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's Christchurch now, isn't it? So that's something fun to look at. So I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to go the All Blacks to get up and win by 8.
I'll say All Blacks by 6. But you got to keep South Africa safe. I mean, it's quite obvious that they're at full strength and we aren't at full strength. And that's pretty much what it boils down to at the end of the day. Yeah,
well, the viewers, if you disagree with us, throw it in the comments. But yeah, it's sort of like, to me, this is a pivotal game for Razor Robinson. I mean, I'm still waiting to see the new All Blacks under his leadership, because we've been running along per normal. I'm hoping for some initiative that comes out on Saturday night. Believe it or not, I think it's the first time in about 40 years, maybe more, that I'm not going to be watching this game live, because some family member decided we were having a family occasion on that Saturday night without asking me. And it's one of those things you have to do, which is annoying, especially when we've got Ranfurly Shield, we've got a major Heartland game on, we've got the All Blacks playing. There's a lot of, it's a big week for New Zealand rugby in a whole. So out of Heartland, NPC, Ranfurly Shield, and because the other thing is, no one's actually spoken about the Australia-Argentina game. how's Argentina? They know how to win in Australia. Will Argentina get up? And that's an earlier game too. That's on about 4 o'clock, I believe.
I think Australia will beat Argentina by 15 or more.
Okay. I'll write that down. Come back to you later. I think Argentina might upset because they are travelling well at the moment. You know, they're in their own bubble. That's the thing. When you get teams in their own little bubble, no, you know, media hype or anything, because as I said, it's all about the All Blacks game. And we're not really reading much about the Argentina-Aussie game. So both teams will love that sort of, I mean, maybe in Australia they're talking about it, but not here in New Zealand. And we should be talking about it because, you know, we've still got to play Australia 2-3 times this year. So I think there'll be a lot of eyes on that match coming up. One last thing really to talk about, and that is the death of Sevens. World Rugby announced their tournament list yesterday. So again, traditionally starts in Dubai, moves to Cape Town, then it heads to Singapore. Australia, they haven't even decided where in Australia. That's why there's a little asterisk beside it. And then they move to Vancouver in Canada. Then they go to USA with an asterisk beside it because they don't know where it's going to be played. And then they can have 3 world championships.
They're all over the place, aren't they?
Well, Great Britain aren't playing now. England aren't playing. Ireland aren't playing. Scotland aren't playing. The Welsh aren't playing. I mean, is it time? I mean, and, you know, Hong Kong, okay, fair enough. Valladolid in Spain and Bordeaux in France. So that's why we're not in England, because there's no at Twickenham, there's no England game. I mean, there's nothing for New Zealand again. The whole has this World Series now run its course? Has 30 odd years been enough? And it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think it's starting to die off, isn't it? I can't say I'm really interested in it. I'd rather watch Heartland rugby, but yeah, maybe the time's come that something needs to change.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, it's sad. I enjoy watching Sevens, but yeah, I think that's pretty much the. I think we're watching the death nail of it myself, being handed in. So but anyway, any parting thoughts before we leave on the hour?
No, just all the best to all the teams and coaches this year and this weekend, and up the mighty men in mid to go 4 from 4, and I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee and a couple of cheese rolls, I think.
Yeah, well, I did do a poll on our Rugby Heartland page because I've got a new thing now called Communities. So to answer any questions here, just, you know, you can ask us questions on the community. It's easy. It's just Messenger, I think. But I did ask a poll, do people want to see more virtual Heartland games? Because the one in Wanganui West Coast, which we had West Coast winning 17-10, but the weather didn't play ball with us because it didn't rain in the end. But overwhelming 90% of people who voted, and that's well over 500 people, which is a good number, have said yes, they'd love to see at least one game a week. So I'll be heading off now. What game would you like to see as the virtual Heartland game of the week?
Mid Canterbury, South Canterbury.
For this week?
Oh, this week. South Canterbury, Wanganui.
Okay, well, the great thing is the program I use, it will be played at the virtual Heartland Stadium, which is the old Lancaster Park, because that's the closest to the two. Okay, so we'll go. Yeah, but we had Wanganui last week.
Okay, we go West Coast. We go West Coast Warrior for Bush or something, or Thames Valley, North Otago.
There we go. We'll go Thames Valley, North Otago. at Forsyth Bar Stadium. There we go. So we'll run that game. We'll run the teams they ran last week, and we'll see how it goes. So if you're in either the Thames Valley squad or the North Otago squad, keep an eye out on Rugby Heartland. We'll post up our virtual. So it'll be North Otago. Actually, what I should do is ask these people online what you want to see a game of the week. We will definitely go Mid Canterbury versus South Canterbury for next week's game. Okay?
All right, good lad.
Okay. So anyway, that's the end of the show for me. We've made an hour. Haven't been kicked off yet. And just like to thank everyone for watching on YouTube and Facebook. Any last words before I push the stop button?
No, I think I've said all I need to say for now. We'll see what happens Saturday, and hopefully we can get some of these teams locked in for the competition.
Yep. And my last word is get down to the ground, support all your Heartland teams, because that is where
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So till next week. Catch us all later.
See you later, mate.